Jedan Zoje Zanam Janjo Bardo Dani Gyabson Je Ndage Jinso Jebe Sonam Je Ndola Pinje Sanje Ju Barash Sanje Jedan Soje Sonam Da Janjo Bardo Dani Gyabson Dage Jinso Jebe Sonam Je Ndola Pinje Sanje Ju Barash. From now on to enlightenment, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. For the benefit of all sentient beings. And by the man who created this practice, may I attain the state of Buddha, the benefit of all sentient beings.
Gange Tushin Yuzuwa Tawa Tamje Pambe Shire Tambe Chini Tanze Kodam De La Chotaro Ya, Tajirim Buchi Lamrim Didena Something Salon Wangur Gabu Jana Yemeri Wambujin Tana Gami Bakunlanju Listen Lusroy Ta Vechendin Zersore. What I think one a Garsung Redanta Jinit Sinde, something is saying Tanda Maranzo Ale Molam Tam Mado Jinit Sinde Tubiagi Molam Tam the way in the Jinit in Chitanich to More, Kazanjuchine. What that similar Numubes Karsota, sem Nang to similar Raon Yobachi, so called Rumaji, Jagili, Sem Tsichipichilat. Something is some cigars. Sem tempo, G one pushing your map can. And if me pallet, the witch of me paltana, cut in a singing me pickle and dead win. What are you on? Sem tempo tendigila and something is some cigars.
In the condensed points of the stages of path by Lama Tsongkhapa on concentration or meditation, he mentioned that concentration is the king that reigns over the mind. When left, it is as unwavering as the king of mountains. When set forth, it engages with all objects of virtue. It induces the greatest bliss of a serviceable body and mind. So as mentioned by Lama Tsongkhapa here, concentration, single-pointed meditation, it is like the king that reigns over the mind, and when you leave it, the power, the stability of the mind is like the king of mountains. And when set forth, when you use it to engage for certain purposes, it will, there will be 100% kind of concentration of on the objects of virtue or object of observation. So and it ends saying that great bliss of serviceable body and mind. With that kind of mind, you have sort of complete power, authority over your mind. You can use it however, whatever you want it.
What tendi that tender sem the tobala on it 가라고 가래. 리즘 신장 기대와 두고 가래. 리즘 신장 두고 가래. 리즘 신장 대화들나 트라니도 와. 어다 도시데 리즘 신장 생데 루이에네 배 거외초 꼴드루와. 셈데 거외초도 꼴드루와시. 이 something is something alte zon지 다 띵기 두고 가래. 띠용라 셈네 구데 마투나 이니 띠투야 요바래. 띠인도글라 셈네 구데 시부지
So in order to have that kind of stability of the mind, stable as mind, stable as the mountain, king of the mountain, it must be preceded by, as we discussed before, physical or mental suppleness or pliancy, which is again, it's a serviceability of the mind and body, however, whatever you want. And but to have that kind of pliancy or suppleness of both body and mind, one must been through 9 stages in practicing calm abiding meditation, or 9 mental settings.
오다 semne gude matuba jine singde yongya kora yo mare semne gude tuballa ani jingwe kandis jegi yowa jingwa kedu kandis ni semle tu tangu goya semba ya pargoya da ani goba kedu goba ngwinzim bitoni ani semba tamru dane semba mar tangoya wata te kazan sarmang bujure ze shibun ne chambore 오다 문에 도난치도 제가 다이나 되게 첨버리 디오라 텐시 생과다 게 첨부 시우지래 오다 되게 균도 지 거뒤나지 니마지나 투투예요 말에 다때 칼레 셈 림베 원이 두스치네 송고아래 고 림베고네 투고에 자고아래 오다 띵디가라 담부 셈 난돈 줘봐 셈 줘봐세 가도달라 친구 응어시에 쳐고 말은 안 하고 문에 지나 디디 진고 원진 코랑 두고 말해. 니베 감랑 원진 두고 말해. 순반이지니 원진 두네니 지 대용래 대용을 진고데 모살터 때는로도 진고 지 모살터도 소소 원진 두고 온데가라 모살때도 저 모살때도 다 진화몽 벌래용라 고발래용 원진 두고가라 이니 제니 tel라니 베 진시땡야데 두스지니 용고데다 원에디 대용알라 또 뭉에고네 아니 top 2 ke wona ona semne gui rimba da kantes tu guyeme oda tikati shibuji ne chambu chabare oda ti indikala samdem ferila samsana pagelta ene dus cheni yundu gom tyagena besoje de ene tonanche dus chigena ene kale tuyajires
without going through or having those 9 stages of calm abiding meditation, one can't attain this calm abiding meditation or meditative stabilization. And to go through those 9 stages in 9 stages in practicing calm abiding meditation, as we mentioned in last class, one must identify very obvious obstacles, such as mental dullness and mental agitation, with identification or with recognition that these are obstacles, and then knowing how to apply antidotes and fine-tuning mind, when there's a mental dullness, with the application of antidotes, increasing the strength of your power. When there is influence of mental excitement or agitation, when mind is hyperactive, you need to know how to tune it down, So what is needed here is application of, from the antidote, especially mindfulness and introspection. And so these are very basic requirements of this meditation, and these are something for practitioner, something that must be doing every parts of their practices. When you do meditation, these are something that is must and inevitable. And of course, using these different technique, it doesn't happen in short time. It's a very gradual process, step by step. And if you look into, as we discussed last time, 9 stages of calm abiding meditation, when you begin with the first stage, setting the mind, keeping your mind on the object of observation, and going to the next, second and third, continuous setting, resetting, all of these 3 stages, let alone applying antidote, practitioners doesn't even identify and knows, what is dullness and agitation. They are not aware of those kind of obstacle, the existence of those obstacles, let alone knowing as obstacle. And then from step, forward and onwards, then they realize that, there is thing called, excitement and laxity that makes my meditation not working. And so then kind of, with the identification comes the application of antidotes. And 9 through 9, going through 9 stages and then attaining calm abiding meditation. And other practice also includes, as we said briefly before, 6 mental powers or 6 mental strength. And so these are, again, as said before, something that is a must for calm abiding meditation. And it is also kind of helpful to kind of look at, the image of, 9 stages of meditation, which, it's in the frame over there on the wall, kind of reminding yourself about the technique and process of meditation.
어다 두신이가라다 아니 냠도 가르쳐 보면 전시대에서 깨치고 싶으래 어디 배게 첨버래 어다 그디는 톱두나라 템베서다 신기 좀 용구도 와 어디 이제 시부지 깨첨부자 되어래 어다 진리의 윤도 아니 단 배점 파게 제집에 갑도들라 마 조바 스미 구바들라 아니 바기 구바 아니 배 주체들라 이 윤린퉁기 개버다 또또서 배자도는 만나 숨고도 가제나라 니샤지나라 아니 배 숨자지 있으네 숨도가라 주소 숨소 배자 가제나 이자지 있으더가라 양 이숨 중이 이제도 숨주고 중인서도 주소 고스 자르건 텐데 링돈 담는다 숨도 간지 샘 조바싱인데 간지 파게 미테디가라 제메기 샘링이 잔 소함에 발레베 주도 이름 뭐지 간지 주도 징화된데 상이 시다 뚱뚱해 내 동인 샘질라 세고다 간지 된디질라 뒤뒤도 진이 두비어서는 요마래 디지도 샘신장 두고래 류신장 두고래 류신 신장신인데 가르쳐야되나 류 이게 냉엘렌스된 디바치자고래 나도 직 가와치디가라 개파나용에 피모나용 캠페 직 류코랑카네 강망부 가제망부지티기 류잉 냉엘렌긴 디바요 인사 디지기어래 샘미 간제 거워 촐라 코르마투비 째야돼 샘기 냉엘린 디바레 딩인 디바 장체데 두스친다 샘 신장주 류신장주 데나 류신장다 샘 신장이라 가데 타란도와 담보라바투 데니 타모투 데니 지니 두비아 두스친 숭구도와 데람림 충나 숭구도 남림 쳔면나 다 로요 말에 어다디 파봉 겔람림 데나 다가란 토용구도와 어다 두스인디가라 ngaranzu zonjena tatu teri pejine tuya tharimbo tharimbo resamne dichigya mare bezuchena susula tuya chagora amerike mi gaurmuji tungu kyanga baje amerike michigi chuze jinga tu kana mi pekala singi denge amerike mi여서 송도와 gemgorum 송도와 wata tindi idikala tikma 좀 michi bare bezuchema chigita kebarte chabare wata duschine kanchi 수수 윤싱 수수 랑랑 샤마상이 째요 말해 인디가라 랑랑 샤사는 베스 제과지 차거레스
application of 6 mental powers, and among those 6 powers you also see kind of the 2 powers basically the same in the from the 8 antidotes, mental this mindfulness and introspection. Those are again 2 of the 6 mental powers, and you see how important these 2 are. Having good practice of concentration in the kind of tells a different slight different timing able to maintain fully alert concentration 1/3 of the day, 1/4 of the day, which is kind of like continuous 3-4 hours, maintaining single pointedly focused upon whatever you are your mind is up to. So and as we said before, pliancy or suppleness of physical and body, because there is a this understanding, both physical and mental. Physically, what we call negative conditions, which refers to lack of interest from body itself. When you try to engage in positive activities or meditation, physically not kind of wanting to sit and not wanting to maintain what needs to be required for the meditation. Those were considered as obscurations, for meditation, and practitioner actually try to purify those and attain what is called physical pliancy. So serviceability of your body. You can sit, maintain postures, whatever is required according to the instruction, without any pains and uncomfortableness. Same thing with the mental, negative conditions of the mind, which is basically your thought, which doesn't allow your mind to engage in meditation. That becomes kind of barrier or obstacles, or so any kind of thoughts that makes your mind kind of taking away from meditation. So those both of these I consider as obscurations that needs to be purified. And in the text also it talks about different levels of result that one can enjoy when you attain such as physical or mental pliancy, subtle and gross level of joy or blissful experiences. These are mentioned in the Stages of Path text, and also Papunga's text, Liberation in the Palm of Your Hand. And His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, talks about some of his friends, American friends, who can maintain single-pointedly 4 to 5 hours of concentration of the mind. And so this kind of ability is something that can be attained by anybody, and without if make a required effort. And when you love yourself and you want to take care of yourself and wanting to achieve this kind of result, it is kind of worth to make that kind of effort, and definitely there will be this kind of result.
다 미백가나 센 윤진로 네비 차니 셈니 구스자고라 다때 두비아데 톱 두기곤 두고래 다 톱두데 간데레 시드가라 니 퇴베섭 세세다 퇴바 인데서 삼당과래 와다 퇴베 바인 기부 중의 것들 망부승도와 와다 시리나 빼 망보야래 퇴베 머리 무슨 점이다 세데 퇴바 파인지 때리 군불 넣어서 미케 너기 주 되는 송도와 퇴베 파인 뭐네 즉 노르나니 노르 야셔지 퇴베 노르들이 지템베 노르지는 배샤인난다 누르 구마르 짜봤더니 결도 봐요라 랑라 퇴베 엔덴지에나 티 구마진데 쇼르도 주니어 마라 랑게 템베 제르마주나 니 고 예요 마라 틴디가 퇴베 파인서 삼당과래 어다 미시바 셀라데 퇴박강로와 퇴박 말이 무슨 로맨다스 숭구가 됐더니 어다 티게도 파인트서 삼다 아니 퇴박을 좋아게 오와래 아니 퇴박 지대가라 아니 배 자견지 왕부 탐전이 년고와 센 탐전이 알아도 달래 이제 중시 당서 숭도 안 되나라 딘도가라 두스제네 아니 딘디지나 아니 배 직배제지 로드가라 닌지 퇴바 디지용도가라 아니 센 탐전이 아니 셀페 신 제로마 주제 도시 잡아이나 아니디 즉 소소라 티드 마제나 티기 돈다다 삼당지 거로와 삼베토티 레인 거로와 도시니 거 어떻게 인도가 시부지 되바 슈 충보 아니 되바 싱이 상와 되바 꼬쳐봐 간지 되바 펜터바지 질라 되비 톱스거 되비 뉴바들 된 바지 그거 알아 간지 뉴된지 어떻게 인도 삼당데 시부지 깨진 버렸어.
The 9 stages in practicing calm abiding meditation that we discussed last class is based upon duration of your mind, on the object of observation, and based on that we see those 9 stages of calm abiding meditation. So it's more of kind of time or duration of mind staying on the object of observation. And how to attain that, those stages, 9 stages, it is attained through using what we call, as said before, 6 mental powers. 6 mental powers, and for 6 mental powers, what is important is, those 6 mental powers, it is important to understand the benefits of these, 6 mental powers. Once you know a benefit, a positive impact or significance, then it will inspire you to, engage in hearing or listening, which is the first mental power. Here we find in many different texts in the stages of path lamrim, it comes in the section under practice of small scope, and also we see kind of mention in short text like letters to a friend by Nagarjuna, and it talks about the benefits of hearing. The hearing is like a light in the darkness, and hearing is the supreme, best among all kinds of wealth. The ordinary wealth can be, used, can get stolen, but hearing, through hearing, wealth and knowledge that you gain is very stable, unless you have poor memory, but it's considered as very stable, secure, and power of listening or hearing. In the sutra, it talks about listening with all mind, with all consciousness. So there is complete concentration in listening. So you should be using your every consciousness of your being, when listening. And with that kind of listening or hearing, it becomes meaningful. It becomes a strength, not every kind of listening or hearing.
오다 되버들 니버들 된바지 용아이나 톱들 된바 니버들 된바 톱들 된바지 자와이나 삼베 톱들 한신 기타페 디 맘맘 슈슈게 삼모당해지 레용고로 와곧 디인디가라 디주 삼베 톱 생인디 차디거래 다티 미제베 에니베 투리 데근달라 템비 톱스고 그래 오다 개침부도 와 아니 템바 투리 데도가라 삼삼 답바 때가라 닌도 민도 간지 지네 갑도 이지나 샘데 미베가라 닌도 민도 차라체켄달라 시진지고 그래 델레 시진기 차라체네 베 소바다 마소는 차디오래 오다 티체야들라 시진기 톱스 숨도 와 아니 준지기 톱 종광가라 좋아하고서네 오늘 옴자데 다 게비 초도 인도라 그발레 좋아 또심 또슈 전부 디졸라 띵띵기 파인도스 삼당와데 시부지 개침머리 아니 제베톱 시디갈라다 직파기 강 미비 미디 지사다나랑 생긴 추다 오만아진 데서나 예체도 말 때나 진짜네 때 네투야지 땡디지 구와래 어떻게 두들라 톱투 세스노도아 땡디 니바달 덴바지 두질라스 시고르마다 직 투바티 년 톱점지당 삼 톱점지 말해 꼭 꼬쳐바지 삼무단에 삼로 코르도 주네 아니 빼디 차상 지 네투미질라 삼베 톱시고래 코 용수 줘바지 자와 지투고 있는 삼로 코르도 미질라 시고르마다 디 시고마르 가지 톱투 시들라 퇴베도 sambe sop, dembe sop, shijingi sop, zundi sop, depe sop, zerde tusi jagdwa, top tu sede. Opagi rimodela rimo kuba tu yore. Kuba tu de lamgi top tu de tsungore.
Once you have a good, first mental power, that is hearing or listening, that will sort of naturally bring a second power, which is thinking or contemplation. When you have a good listening, meaningful listening, productive listening, effective listening, it will automatically take you to the second process of thinking or contemplation. And when you have a good thinking or contemplation, that will lead to the third, mindfulness. Mindfulness here is able to maintain complete alertness. And with that mindfulness comes, next one, that is introspection or introspective alertness. That, the corner of your mind, looking at your main mind, whether it is, on the object of observation or not, one will have that ability or that, feature of the mind. And with that comes, the next effort. Effort is not every kind of effort, but effort in creating positive activities. Joy in creating positive activities is what usually effort means. And finally, the sixth one is familiarity. Familiarity is actually, in meditation, your mind and the object of the observation, your target object, when in meditation, those two become sort of totally intertwined. You cannot separate those two. And that is how your mind becomes familiar. And that happens with this, this strength, familiarity. And so here, when we say this, hearing, thinking, and mental power, we are not, as said before, it doesn't mean any kind of hearing, any kind of thinking, but hearing which, is meaningful hearing that can take you to the next level of thinking that can take you to the next level of mindfulness. And in the image of calm abiding meditation in the frame, the bend at the corner, those six, those symbolize or represents 6 mental powers. I have this chart, maybe, I don't know, I have distributed this several times before. If you need it again, I can make it a copy. Because this chart shows, 9 mental abidings, and then 6 powers, and then 4 mental engagement, and the other one is 8 antidotes and 5 faults, kind of easy to look at. So now, how these 6 powers are applied at what stage of 9 mental powers. And so for the first mental abiding, which is setting the mind, for the setting the mind, the power that is being used is the first power, hearing or listening. And at the first stage of setting the mind or placing the mind, what you need is basically lots of knowledge, information, understanding that is really based on listening or studying or learning. And under that includes, as said before, how although at that level it's hard to identify, one doesn't identify, laxity and agitations, but one must have all those kind of information, required to move further into the this meditation.
같이 심조 받아 주고 그래. 이 심이 당보. 다 심이 입에 갑돌라 가래 온 거래. 삼배톱. 다 오니 강 tö비 뜬달라 삼로 뜬달데 마지 호르투바지 제네 삼 당고 거라. 또디 인두가라 삼배톱 심이 니 받아 주고 그래. 저와 띵인진기 오검상소 디세 토도 랑게 삼로 동산테 조레 갑디 띵인진기 유튜브리 윤특기 열라 랑기 삼로 동산테양 조임베 디삼 딜라네 삼베섭 생고바 중세 어디 디송도아 같이 또 당보득이 아니 베 셈네 당보이 갑라 아니 삼배섭득이 셈닝 니베 갑라 어두두 시어래 뒤디 진고 니가 뭔지 세고 두고 말해 디니가라 뭔지 맞두도 갈라 삼모탄 대시 때야서 다다 슈지 용고 말해 대갑도더라.
Second power is thinking. Second power, thinking, is applied during the second stage of 9 mental abiding, which is continuous setting. And during the continuous setting of your mind, what is needed more is not hearing the first one, but your own kind of contemplative or thinking. That's the main, or that's the primary kind of sort of forces that you use to keep your mind kind of continuously set on the object of observation. As we said before, at that time when you try to meditate, your mind is like a bee trying to stay on a flower. It doesn't stay even for a few seconds. Just so you try to achieve this continuity of the mind, and what you need is kind of this power of thinking. And again, one doesn't have at that stage identification of those obstacles, laxity and agitation, and also understanding or practice of mindfulness or introspection.
어다 숨바 덴베 톱들이 덴베 톱데라 렌든 조바당 녀런 조바 땡이 두고 와래. 다 렌든 조바서 다들 지시니 파기 네네 고발레나 지말레나 디 셈티게 많이 받은 뭐치고 와래. 같이 셈되기는 많이 받아 뭐도 거라 뭐도 그 나도 둘러 쳐서는 이군부나 곧 통되거라 와 내가 렘베게나 뭐다 쳐거라 오다 대손이 진데 렌드 줘봤는데 오다 텐디질 뭔지지고도 오다 렌드 줘봐도 녀월 줘봐가 템바슈 주보 템바 트레 자고 이 템비서데 뒤 딩이라 제 구구도
Third power, mindfulness, is applied during third and fourth of mind, 9 mental stages. That is resetting and close setting. Resetting and close setting. Resetting, sometimes you find translation patch-like setting, which is like when you have a hole on your clothes, you need to patch it up. And just like when you have a hole in a meditation, you use a mindfulness, what you are missing, instructions, and then just fill up that gap or that hole. So during these two stages, one use or this power of mindfulness.
와다 템베소 다 시진기 또 그래 템바토리 연나더니 시진데 라진기 게임 그래서 숨도 알라미 숨도나 시진 생인데 소리 쳐들었고 짜라증인데 템바 생인데 플러스 쳐들었고 따다 코 선데 때가 내면은 선데 양쪽 때가 자고는데 주인이 자고는데 차대어래 뒤니가라 뒤값도 가르지도 둘을 잡아도 시월 잡아 다 심리 마파다 두 번이 차고래 왔다 띵이 시진기 또비 다 템베 또다 시진기 또때 나라도 지네 먹고 간지나 강가라 가르쳐와 지잖아 띵이면은 자와코나 야부지 비타부 영화에 말해서 송도하게 가르무지게 야니 양도 송도하 다 띵이 시비지 내 전부 차대어 시진 생인데 차라증인데 템바스메 뚱떡에 시대 미베글라 네트위디 빼 제로 맞추지네 뚱떡에 장은데 템바스 거래 시진 생인데 고 세메 주르지니 차라증이 따사 디 미데가 된도 미도 텔타야 돼 다티기 셈닝 아파트 두 번이 두 거래스
In the traditions of oral teachings of Lama, they're saying that when you have a good mindfulness, introspection will come naturally. So this introspection, which is fourth of sixth mental power, is applied during fifth and sixth stage of nine mental abidings, which is disciplining and pacifying the mind. And as we said many times before, mindfulness, mindfulness,
템바데 police 그 주인 경내 빼 미대가를 장는데
so
시진데 police 좀 소바 짜라증인데
so we use this example, mindfulness and introspection. Mindfulness is like a cop, and introspection is like a spy. So introspection sits as a corner of your mind, and then look at your mind whether your mind is doing its job or not. If not, then kind of mindfulness comes and grab it and just take it to the way it is supposed to be. So these two works together, and so these two, introspection and mindfulness, as His Holiness says often, it's not only necessary during a meditation, but every task that you do, that we do, introspection and mindfulness is something that is needed, that has to be maintained. So again, mindfulness is the state of mind in which mind has its complete kind of alertness, very kind of fresh, absolute kind of concentration. While introspection is at the corner of your mind when you have that freshness, alertness, it is checking whether your mind is continuing that state or not.
미피 따보지 제발라 랑게 니치 묘몬베 니치던 구구도 미도 잘해야 돼 시시면은 제 두야 고나 미도 템바면나 아니 지 가서 그가 간스 두고에 유메세 템바게 파기 무슨면나 제 두야 고나 미도 가르지나 그가 와듯이 그가 그저 가르지나 미피 따보 용알라 묘몬베 니치 마고 와래 묘모비 니제 마고라 시신다 템베 잘했지네 그뒤이나 랑게 루스미라 에 거기 잘했지 와도 시비지까지 좀 자도가
just as said before, just to being a good person, and not kind of letting yourself under the influence of any kind of negative emotions or afflictions. What is happening when you are in that state is, your introspection and mindfulness is working, and they are making sure that you are not, under the influence of those and maintaining, proper kind of, behavior. And so there's a constant kind of, activity of mindfulness and introspection.
Oda simning top ngapade junri ki tope. Jongangala kigroa. Kanchi gewale to troajla junri sigore. Oda digi correct borzera simni dumba de japani. Number jivar chibata tiji chipatini to bore.
And from the sixth power, number 5, effort or diligence, which as we said before, it's an effort in creating a positive activities, joy in creating a positive activities, not any kind of activities. And it's mentioned in Shantideva's book to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life. Effort is joy creating in positive activities. And with effort, this is applied 7 and 8 of the 9 mental abidings, 7 being thorough pacifying and 8 being making one-pointed. When you see benefits or advantages of calm abiding or concentration, then with that kind of seeing the advantages, benefits or goodness, effort comes really kind of easily. It doesn't become a hard. You want to engage in so that you can attain those good results.
Wada jepithop sinde mone simne gubade tugore nyomra joba sinde wada tugore tate dice ringdung kachada phejan damira yongo to kaje sumjachi inanda digre sumjachi na mata ninda sutunde gudo mi bategala sang sidan de gudo wada tin
숨제지 그래도 주주 인삽신이라고 그래.
인삽신이 숨제지 있잖아 두 차그라. 되니 주도 두 차그니 돼. 근데 차고. 간저 주도 간지 많다 되니 비 룬 다주진 되고 그래서. 네. 아니 주디가라 바기 조안 졸라 맞제지네. 콜 렘상 삼로 쿼다는 로디 니베갈라 신 대통인지라. 녀버 줘 봤는데 되지. 되지도 제 주바들라 또스 저와치고다 당보 냠버자데 저와토스지 되니 지우가 진가니 요 마르티니 바로 인싱파도 네트워크 되게버신 우스.
And sixth of the sixth power of familiarity is applied at the 9th stage, setting in equipoise. As said before, setting in equipoise. Now, at that stage of meditation, you don't require any kind of intentional or deliberate effort. It becomes so spontaneous, and your mind can as soon as you want to meditation comes kind of naturally. And although there's a different kind of a slight different on duration, as we said before, one third of 24 hours. That is like little over 3 hours, continuous, keeping of mind on the object of observation. At ninth, mental state, at 8, before 9, when it is making one-pointed, at that one-pointed or single-pointedness, it requires some kind of effort, but when you reach the 9th, setting in equipoise, there is no obstacles of any kind. It becomes really a natural flow of meditation.
Lamrim namtola chanala, the engine on the Gurade, also Mount Trolliva Gasgazambare. Koran Peganala, Union Jupatamido. Or it is a long I have a rest, or the Yanian law for rest. So, what that semne gutu sansela shu gyada jingwe gyada shu gyada pe ne chambore es
So that is very brief on the application of six powers to attain those nine stages of mind, and this is briefly kind of mentioned in the that Lamrim stages of path text liberation in the palm of your hand. Probably there's more detailed explanation in translation of in English. If you have. So for that we mentioned before, one of the most detailed explanation in the translation of these teachings by Geshe Gendun Lode, the thick book Karma Abiding Meditation, and and there are other books as well. So in meditation, it is important to kind of, if you want to have a good productive meditation, to have a good understanding of at least these nine mental abidings, the state of your mind, how it is developing, and then obstacle and
이제 지고네 아니 바기 semne gutu thade 다 이제 일레 쳬바 지 시두가라 바기 율 런주상 오네 semne gutu thade 대순거 사래 이 개첨벌 림딘주베 이제 제진주베 이제 저밤에 채밤에 베 이제 링기주비 이제 시작도 와 일레 쳬바 시 다디 림딘주베 이제데 semne tambo de tuguarte
ni semne tambo nyos ne nyode chukshima dina de tabde ode
o de tambo de nibanire 림도 집이 이제 되게 tambo de nibani tu 뒤뒤가라 다 여기 콘도 주주 나진지래 호셈 시라 림디만 로콤바메자 내기 엄마와 지구니 오다 줘요 말에 뒤뒤 가버래 뒤뒤 로 사장 소속이 채또 쳐야 돼 7월 초였나 나도 림고 가래 뒤뒤가라 림도 집이 이제 세야 돼 때레스 땅보다 니바니 두고 가래스
Also, there's four mental engagements, and those four mental engagements are primarily related with how your mind, as the word itself says, engage in the object of observation. So the way mind engage, that's why engagement. So these four are, it begins with forcible engagement. Second is interrupted. Third, uninterrupted, and then fourth is spontaneous. Again, when you use those four to nine mental abidings, forcible engagement is applied during first and second stage of nine, stages of mind. Continuous setting the mind and continuous setting, because first these two during the first these two stages, what is needed is kind of your mind needs to be really kind of using mind forcefully, kind of you need kind of consistency, maybe step one is kind of doing it again and again and again, really kind of forcing your mind to sit on the and so the forcible engagement, the first one is for first and second of the nine mental abidings.
뭐다 제진주비 이제 세야 돼 이게 샘네 숨바니 듬바 버더래 따뜻이 가르드나 되기 바기 샘 하장 디묘도 딤짜네 진왈레 비용아 야 르짜네 오고발레 비와 진고 따빼 때가 오다 주고라 이 진고기 샘 딤르때 따따따 진데 맛 띠강할 때 튀고래 띠 강할 때 용데 미바 양양도 쳇고래 양양도 미바 쇼리 인자 미바 쳇베 원게 제진주비 이제 이 자고레스
Interrupted engagement, which is the second of four mental engagement, is applied from from the nine mental abiding, third until seven. Third resetting, fourth close setting, fifth disciplining, sixth pacifying, and then seventh third pacifying. So from third stage of nine mental abiding, practitioners kind of identify two main obstacles: mental laxity and agitation. And then they try to apply, antidotes. And when applying antidotes, there is a problem of not able to keep mind at the right level of concentration. Sometimes there is too much concentration, and then you experience laxity, dullness. Sometimes there is too much relaxation, and then there is hyperactivity, mind wandering everywhere. So it's kind of the timing during which you are kind of adjusting, and therefore there is a kind of there's a constant kind of interruption. That's why it's called interrupted engagement.
어때 미바양이야도 쇼르인데 텔레 체진주비 이제기 두고야데 셈니 숨바니 둠바버도 자거도 다다 미 강알 체쇼 셈 짐자비 강알지 디징왈레비용 셈 하정 러잖아 오발레요 다티 중국 뭐다 최대여 인자 다티 베 다다지 셈 dimlo tampo delande matu inza didin bordu ta semni dumba bordu kangalte theko war atire ti lamrim jingbe nala salbudus tekete
mi go shodu war san
mi pa shodu war sta mi pa mi te gani gope wangi mi pa shodoya jingwongi mi pa masalandoya ti ngorwa mi pa ta shurgo marta jingwa dala mi pa ta salcha mewa ta salcha ngar mewa ta ngor
interrupted in the sense here, there's a constant interruption by these two, mental laxity and agitation. That's the main practice that practitioners try to, adjust or try to gain ability from third until seventh. As said before, they now are aware of these two, obstacle, and also, they try to apply, antidotes. But in application of antidote to this, obstacles, there's always kind of up and down. You try to apply antidote, and then although there's no kind of although the object of observation doesn't disappear completely, you have that stability, but it becomes, little kind of vague, murkiness, and it sometimes becomes too intense. So there is a kind of, during this entire period, it's really kind of adjustment of, making, fine-tuning your mind to stay at the right level of concentration.
오다 가상가만 사람 보시면 마스 고발레 용디가라 semba martangela chua mita bakomya legun enipe kore dungal samtangya ani digi chi conscious enipe mita ba thamotang samtang thuina ani tarun sunjana sin 상니 dada ani kewa chmani kanguna yo to mewarwa neba meajire digite samtangina 오늘 중에 세자 되게 삼당 또 저바이나 셈라니 줌발레 간지 셈 줌발레기 탑시 찍고 와래 오고 발레 용도 갈라 셈 줌발레나 아니 셈또 손짐 또 손짐도 다또 전에 양 밑에 됐어 세자 셈대가 내가 탑시 찍고 와래
As we said before, when you experience mental laxity or dullness, feeling of your mind being kind of little dull, tired, rosy, at that time, what is happening is your mind is, basically kind of diminishing its power, or maybe losing its interest in that, meditation. So you need to kind of re-energize your mind. I'm sorry for the mental agitation. Mental agitation, your mind becomes too excited, hyper, wandering, scattering everywhere, and the nature of the mind being too kind of active, you need to bring down that, hyperactivity of the mind, and for that, practitioner intentionally focused upon or meditate upon impermanence, suffering of cyclic existence. And even within the impermanence, subtle impermanence, such as, conviction of whether tomorrow or next life, which comes first. There's no really guarantee. So that kind of subtle impermanence, and raising that kind of awareness will, bring down hyperactivity of the mind, and with that you can kind of again bring back mind to the, proper or actual state of meditation.
오다 진월래 용도가라 세미세가라 내디어래 이나 살자매하다 살자매나 진월악바 살짝 얼슈매나 진월 참무 디가봐 선반 토로 땅 거래 오니 다저리 내가 또 삼다 리서치 삼다 장주 샘기 파인 삼다데 장주기 샘 깨지지 깨바 떼삼기 아니 랑기 아니 빼 샘규레께나 랑기 리데 장주 세베 구봉차고 거래 랑 장주 세판 규르고 거래 아니 야외 생 규르고 거래 디게지 파인 되게 삼다나 장주 오다 준주나라 아니 빼 파인 마부송도 오다 되게 삼다 아니 독신에 아니 달와게 저와주 딘디기 밀리 림부치 생인데 다른 사진이야데 롱의 차들 풍부터니 림부치니 받나 가수지 냐르사진데 그래 대소리 삼다네 니에네 다저리 냐가데 던던데 맞지나 칸니디 딘디 그 말삼데 다저리 냐게는 파인도서 삼다 두스제바이나 셈바야 톨루고 와 오다 두스지네 제르즈데 겸그럼 진는데 찌는 송도 우스와 오다 두스지네 가지 셈니 숨바니 당근 찌따빠이 두바버도 때 삼로 두스자때 진거 가르쳐나 오다 두스지네 땡 삼로도 양양도 당과데 차거래스 된 뒤서서 오는데
sure. And mental laxity or dullness, for that, as said before, mind becomes very kind of drowsy, dull, murky, and although you have your mind on the object of observation, on the target object, but when there's a lacking of clarity, you are experiencing gross level of dullness. When you are experiencing intensity of that clarity, you are experiencing a subtle, dullness. And what you needed here is kind of, strengthening your mind, its power or energy of the mind, and for that, practitioner intentionally meditate or visualize or contemplate on, preciousness of human rebirth, potential of Buddha nature that everybody possesses, and altruistic or awakening mind. How one has the ability to attain and to become, bodhisattvas, and precious human being with 10 endowments and 8 ledgers and 10 endowments, and attaining recognition that attaining this kind of precious human rebirth is extremely rare, and as if it's equivalent to finding a precious stone in the trash, So with that kind of understanding, you make your mind kind of re-energize and coming back to the meditation. And so with this, this all kind of it's a readjustment, that happens between mental abiding 3rd until 7th. So take a break here.